So all this functionality that most geospatial companies need is in the system, in one system, fully integrated. It's very intuitive. It really focuses on the key elements, and it comes out of an operations and sales background rather than many other systems that come, for example, from an accounting background. We make it easy filling out timesheets for people. So that is, let's start with the proposal management, tracking proposals, creating proposals, then going into the projects management, scheduling, timesheets, everything's integrated. So if somebody updates the hours on the timesheet, it will show on the project, it will show the proposal, which invoices have been raised on a project, which in many companies, they have to ask the accounting department, the finance department, which invoices have been raised. One client particularly who had compared before they came on board to us to how much efficiency they gain, and they said to us, on a conservative estimation, they have at least 400% return of investment in terms of how much easier and free-flowing it has made the business, and just so much easier for project managers to see how is their project going.
Hello and welcome to WGIC, the World Geospatial Industry Council. Our guest today is Kai Duebbert, founder and CEO of Kompass BMS. Kai, thank you so much for finding this time. Thanks for this conversation.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So I want to start this conversation understanding a little bit background behind the founding of Kompass BMS. You have been a surveyor by profession and have held several senior positions before founding Kompass BMS, right? Tell us the story behind the creation of Kompass Business Management System and what actually got you to see the need to build a Kompass platform.
Yeah, so as you say, I'm a surveyor by profession. My father was surveyor, my great uncle was surveyor, so it runs in the family. And I've been in the industry now for 30 years, I would say, overall. When working in different companies, and I've worked internationally and so on. And around 14 years ago, I joined a company in the UK called Murphy Geospatial. Now it was called Murphy Surveys at the time, and they were relatively small at the time, and I joined as general manager, later on managing director for the UK, and we grew the company into what it is now. It's one of the largest surveying companies both in the UK and in Europe. And during that time we really had problems managing the business. We like scheduling people, the timesheets and all that. There was kind of a custom system that Murphy Geospatial had developed before, but it was really not working very well. And we went out to market and had to look at other systems that were on the market, and we just couldn't find anything. They were either large accounting systems, or they were very generalized and they needed a lot of work. And we made the decision around 11 years ago that, you know what, we'll create our own system. And we really created, coming out of a surveying or geospatial company, to help us grow and to make our lives easier. You know, that I don't have to, as at the time, for example, I was doing also the operations management, and I would spend like days just trying to schedule people and changing schedules. And our industry is a very fast industry, like things change a lot for surveying companies, and they need to react to different changes. So particularly scheduling was a major part. So we developed the system at Murphy Geospatial to help us grow, and they are still using the system. And around 2020, we decided to split it out of Murphy Geospatial, which is also important. It's not a Murphy Geospatial product. We're not of the Murphy Geospatial group. We are an independent company, but we went to market because we could still not find any software on the market that really catered to our industry and made it easy to manage your business, your timesheets and proposals and projects and schedule, the invoicing, everything in one software package integrated with an accounting software. And this is really where it came from. And I always try to say it comes out of a geospatial practice, really. It's not a software company that thought, what would a geospatial company need? It really came the other way around, and we developed it that way.
That's a great answer, in the sense that understanding the real needs of surveyors on the field, with keeping up with the constant changes and all that. But tell me something.
Yeah.
There are a number of business management systems available in the market, right? So why would anybody want to choose Kompass BMS vis-a-vis others?
Yeah. So we are very, very unique that we cater to the geospatial industry, and me coming out of the industry and knowing how it is to manage a business and build it up and grow the business. We really focused on the features that you need. For example, that you have a field crews and you have office staff, and this very small thing is quite difficult in many other systems to replicate. Or, as I mentioned already, the schedule, that you have a drag and drop schedule, so you can very easily change things. Another thing that I think makes Kompass particularly unique compared to other big systems out there is that it's really focused on the user functionality. So trying to keep it intuitive, not having a million features, so that people don't really know where to click, and they need weeks of training to even do a simple task or something like that. It's very intuitive. It really focuses on the key elements, and it comes out of an operations and sales background, rather than many other systems that come, for example, from an accounting background. So their finance functions are perfect, but their scheduling or timesheets are a nightmare, and people are spending hours trying to correct timesheets. So this is really the key part, where we're a proven system that is for the industry and makes it easy for businesses easier to manage their business.
On that note, can you please tell us more about the functionality of the Kompass BMS? So how can it help businesses deliver best project outcomes and efficiencies while also optimizing resources and time?
Yeah, so we have, or Kompass provides, most of the functions and processes that the business needs. So that is, let's start with the proposal management, tracking proposals, creating proposals, then going into the projects management, scheduling, timesheets, everything's integrated. So if somebody updates the hours on the timesheet, it will show on the project, it will show the proposal. It then can show on the project status or the scheduling, and right through to the invoicing and recording payments. Then we have lots of other functionality that play into that. For example, your vacation management. It's important on the schedule to know who's actually available to schedule. So that whole functionality is in there. Or the equipment management. Another thing that lots of companies struggle with, seeing who has our laser scanner at the moment. What equipment or vans do we have in the office? We're renting a lot of equipment. How much are we actually using it? So all this functionality that most geospatial companies need is in the system, in one system, fully integrated. And for the finance side of things, we integrate with an accounting software. So your QuickBooks Online, or your Sage, or Uninet, or very soon Xero, for example. So that all that side is covered as well. We just try to focus on giving businesses one system where they can manage the whole business in an easy and intuitive way, and also make it more fun to some degree, for people to use the system. If you spend every Monday morning filling out timesheets for 2 hours, that is not fun. So we make it easy filling out timesheets for people, and that results in better compliance and but yeah, we provide the most of the functionality that businesses need to manage their business, integrated them with the accounting systems.
Fantastic. On that note, is there a way to really quantify the benefits your customers are gaining through this platform? And maybe an example or a case study would best help us?
Yeah, so we have some case studies on our website, kompassbms.com, but it's very difficult capturing these improvements quantitatively. But we have one client particularly who had compared before they came on board to us to how much efficiency they gained, and they said to us, on a conservative estimation, they have at least 400% return of investment in terms of how much easier and free flowing it has made the business, and just so much easier for project managers to see how is the project going, and which timesheets have been booked, which invoices have been raised on a project, which in many companies they have to ask the accounting department, the finance department, which invoices have been raised. And it just makes everything smoother and working better together. So it's a real quality of life, if you want, or business life improvement that companies brings into companies.
So on that note, what is the scale of operations this platform can support?
Yeah, so we have companies right from 2 people up to over 400 people. So this is kind of the bracket that we're looking for. I would generally say that businesses in general that have reached a size of, let's say, 60 or 70 staff, they need a system like Kompass in their business to run it, because otherwise they have too much separate applications everywhere, too much inefficiency that will all stop their growth or will make it far more painful to grow in the future. So that really, like, there's no practical limit really on Kompass what size it can support, but we are just over the 400 limit for our biggest client.
Okay. And a lot of these companies may be actually starting small, but over a period of time pick up pace and scale as well. So how does this platform help them navigate the growth as well?
Yeah, so I always, because we do talk to companies that are also just starting out. And I actually say to most of those companies, you don't need Kompass at this stage. So if you're just starting out and you're growing, and let's say you're 5 people or something like that, you can manage with Excel and your Trellos and Monday.com and all these different apps that you have to manage it. But once you, let's say, approach the 10 employees mark, it really starts to become more painful in doing that, and then it starts to make sense to introduce Kompass. It's also a good time to introduce it, because you will not have that pain in the future with the growth that you have to then introduce a system, and it's really disruptive then. If you're larger and you have a lot of inefficiencies, we make it as easy as possible. For companies, our onboarding is first class, and we really help companies to make it very straightforward. But yeah, I would say particularly around the 10 employees mark, it starts to make sense, because they can just focus on their work, and the administration and management of the business is all very intuitive and very quick. And we see that in companies as well, that their growth accelerates once they start using Kompass, because they don't have to fight the system anymore. They can actually use a system that helps them to manage the business.
Okay. That brings me to the second part of this conversation, Guy. You are one of the newest members of WGIC. I just want to understand what brings Kompass BMS to WGIC, and how do you see the business aspirations of Kompass BMS aligning with that of WGIC?
Yeah, so I've kept an eye on WGIC for a while now, and I always thought, yeah, we should join them, because it really helps us to keep our finger on the pulse of trends and what is going on in the industry, and talking to other member companies. And we felt that now was the right time to join, and the hope really is that it will help us to see what companies are struggling with, how can we help with that, how can we develop it, because obviously we're slightly different to many of the other member organizations, because we're not a geospatial provider, we're not a geospatial software provider. We're focusing on the business side of things, but for the geospatial industry. So it's really hoping to see the trends that are developing. And as a surveyor, I'm obviously also very, very interested in all of that, and we really want to lean into that. Yeah.
I see a lot of synergies between other WGIC members and what you are providing, actually. On that note, a lot of our programs are done through the committees. We encourage members to join our committees. We have 6 or 7 committees. So please participate and join and co-create the industry that we are trying to further this.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like there are a couple of committees that I'm very interested in. Obviously, the data committee is very interesting and probably relevant for us. So yeah, we're definitely planning to actively participate and try to bring in our side, and also our experience of working with many different surveying companies and knowing what they're struggling with. We can also bring that into WGIC.
Exactly.
We need to focus on this. Yeah.
Okay. Kai, you rightly mentioned that WGIC companies are very varied in terms of their offerings, in terms of their the technologies, the data products and services that they bring to the table, right? So how do you intend to leverage the individual strengths of the WGIC member companies, or want to build on their capabilities and provide the business solutions that you bring to the table?
Yes, so I'm really hoping to have good conversations with members about what struggles they see, what trends they see in the industry that we can maybe pick up and help them to support, or maybe to solve some issues or focus on certain issues and so on. And there's obviously also potential in terms of having a better integration with geodata and geospatial data of other members. Like Kompass has, for example, a project management where you can see on a map where all your projects are. As a surveyor, that is something that we obviously wanted in there. So you have your project outlines and can really see where the projects are. And that could be a good springboard to integrate other data from other providers and WGIC members to have a good cooperation on that and really elevate that to the next level.
Okay, thank you so much for this insight and for sharing about Kompass BMS.
Yeah, thank you. We're very excited to be part of it, and thanks for talking to me.